95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Stick this one in the electrical socket, folks. The Razorbacks have shocked the world. Arkansas defeats UConn 90-87.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Kentucky by 1. Razorbacks into the front court. They're not going to call a timeout. 7 seconds. Davis drives, missed the shot. Tate's follow, no good. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Kentucky with 4.3 to go. The Hogs didn't call the timeout. Arkansas brought the ball down the floor. They draw the foul, and they're going to the free throw line with 4.3 seconds to go. Tate steps to the line. Second one's on the way. It's good. The Hogs lead it by 1. Now they've got to defend. Kentucky's going to have to go from one end to the other. They've got 4.3 to do it. Here we go. Toppin is going to be the inbounder. He'll run the baseline. Drops it in to Sarr. Sarr from midcourt. Pass stolen away by Davis to the other end. Arkansas wins the game. Davis with the steal at the horn, and the Hogs have escaped with an 81-80 win.
Oh, that was fun. That was fun. A little nerve-wracking to put it quite bluntly. I did find out yesterday that if you don't have real whipped cream for nervous moments, Cool Whip will suffice. That's been my basketball nervous food when it comes down to those moments. And I was certainly nervous after Mintz's 3 gives Kentucky the lead. Boy, it just kept raining threes in that second half. Kentucky did. Only way they were able to stay in the game. But how about Jalen Tate? Ice cold, even given an extra 30 seconds by John Calipari to think about those free throws. The second free throw after he made the first, that's when the timeout occurs. Just imagine what was going through Jalen's mind there, a guy that had his ups and downs this season. At one point, you'd had 3 games in a row in the league with more turnovers than assists. But when Jalen Tate's on, he is on. And certainly at the foul line yesterday, you had to wonder for a moment 2 things. One, can he rise to the moment of a guy that played for 4 years in the shadow of Kentucky Wildcats basketball there at Northern Kentucky? Even sat the one chance that he would have had to play against them as a freshman in the NCAA tournament because of an injury. And a guy that also is not a really good free throw shooter throughout his career. 62% career. Even after he goes 5 for 5 yesterday, 67% at the foul line. Certainly would like that to be a little higher for a guard, but the guy was just ice yesterday. 5 for 5 at the foul line, makes those final 2 free throws, and then Devo seals it. It was a lot of fun yesterday, SmackDown, because really when it was all said and done, it was about 2 things for us. One, stay hot. This Arkansas team's now won 5 straight SEC games. This is a hot basketball team now. 10 games over at 15-5. 3 games over in the league, and playing some pretty good basketball going into what's going to be a tough stretch. 4 of your next 5 games will all be teams that are either a cinch to make it to the NCAA tournament or making cases. So I wouldn't discount the fact that that's not a good Kentucky team. Going on the road in the SEC, no matter where you do it, especially a place like Rupp, although it didn't have the 22,000 or so that they usually would. I wouldn't discount that win one bit. Teams playing good basketball. Felt good also. SmackDown, it was kind of the theme in our first segment yesterday. It's a lot of fun just adding to the misery of Kentucky basketball fans this season. Because right now all they have to stand there on the shoulders of is Mark Stoops' football program. Kentucky's a football school now. boy, it just took a few years for that to actually happen. I thought that was part of the fun yesterday, was seeing all of the shots of the young kids who were praying and hoping and, for a Kentucky comeback. They got the comeback that they were hoping for, and then we got to see some surrender cobras from those kids from the ESPN cameras late. I don't know. Maybe I'm a meanie, but I enjoyed that part of it too.
Well, how many times has Arkansas came up on that side of the token, not even just necessarily against Kentucky, but in previous games also, where you're on the wrong side of the scoreboard or the wrong side of the officials' call, and it seemed like everything went Arkansas's way yesterday, aside from Kentucky magically figuring out how to shoot a 3-point basket, which was just incredible to see because, I'll have a beef. I know this is like Morning Rush is what's your beef. Steve Sullivan, throughout that second half, was like, there's no way Kentucky's going to come back. They're 308th in the country. The 3-point comeback it's just highly unlikely. And look what happened. And Kentucky goes 14 of 26.
Don't give me that announcer jinx crap because Jimmy Dykes
Phil, they were 14 of 26.
Well, Jimmy Dykes halfway through the second half talking about Connor Vanover's free throws and how he'd never missed. He even mentioned that he still hasn't missed halfway through his 2 free throws. So more proof that the announcer jinx doesn't matter. Which, Muss even said, put it on him, that the whole game plan was to allow Kentucky to shoot as many threes as they wanted, and that's what they wanted to do in the second half. I don't think you could have expected they get hot like that. But, so let's take a look at the idea that Kentucky hits 14 threes, okay? Kentucky hits 14 threes, but Arkansas dominated them in the paint. Maybe not on the glass necessarily, but they defended the 2 very well. That's how they were able to get out on the fast break really well. You see Moses Moody with a steal and a block in the lane, getting the ball out to Devo Davis. I was impressed with the way that Muss's game plan focused on making sure that Kentucky wouldn't be able to drive with all that much success, that they would have 2 or 3 defenders in their way, and always a lot of help. That does, hey, if you focus on one thing, there's going to be another thing that's open. And
absolutely,
Kentucky ends up, hitting the threes that Muss designed for them to have open.
Arkansas won that game also in the second half at the free throw line. It was just 18 to 23 for the game. I think at one point they were 12 of 13 in the second half. 15 to 17. So you have wrote down 15 of 7. That's winning basketball. When you can get to the free throw line and knock them down. And I think, was it Desi that missed the pair I think that might have been the only 2 free throws missed in the second half when he missed those 2 in the second half. Other than that, you were dynamite from the free throw line, and it was to me, it seemed like a very balanced effort. It seems like everybody knows their roles now. Everybody knows what role they're supposed to be a part of this team, and they're gelling and they're coming together at the best time possible. Late February or mid-February heading into March, and you hope that this momentum can continue. But they're getting hot at the right time. 5 SEC wins in a row, and it's always a good thing to beat Kentucky. I get that, but what did me and you and all the listeners and everybody, we expected to win that game yesterday. We spoke for 2 hours on the show. We expected to win that game because we were.
I think Arkansas is the better basketball team. I think they're a more disciplined club, and that's one of the reasons Kentucky loses yesterday. Is they were undisciplined.
Right.
The technical foul on Isaiah Jackson proves to be a killer. In a 1-point game, you give Arkansas a chance to get to the foul line essentially 4 times right there. Yeah. And look, Arkansas, you can't discount 18 of 23 from the foul line, making 15 of 17 free throws in the second half. It wasn't just Jalen Tate. It was anybody that got to the foul line. This is where this team actually is really dangerous, holding leads late. Now, look, they gave up the lead because Kentucky couldn't miss a three-pointer, but this is a team that makes free throws, gets to the line. They're second in the league in free throw percentage at 74%. They're even up to 75% in SEC games. In the last 2 games, 31 of 37 at the foul line. You cannot discount that as a reason that Arkansas won. And more statistical proof of how well they defended in the paint. So Kentucky makes 14 threes. They only had 11 2-point shots. 11 of 35 inside the arc for Kentucky. 31%. And Arkansas outscored them in the paint 32-20. In that second half, UK scored 45 points, 30 of them on three-pointers. They couldn't do anything else. So, I'll say, again, Muss is going to put it on his shoulders for giving Kentucky all those threes, and they hit all those threes. But I think in other aspects, Arkansas defended really well and made Kentucky step out of a spot of comfort, really, because they're not a comfortable team shooting that many threes on a regular basis. They certainly did look yesterday, though. It is rich, very rich, by the way, for Kentucky players and fans to complain about the opponent getting a call in the final 5 seconds. With all the calls Kentucky's gotten over the last, 70 years or so. Jalen Tate beats 3 Kentucky players for that rebound, goes up against 4 or 5 different arms. He went up strong. There might have been contact there, but I'm for as many times as the call goes the other way or that there's a non-call. Arkansas deserved that one, no doubt about it. Other thoughts on the game coming up here in the next segment. If you got thoughts, if you just want to rub Kentucky's face in it, this is the place to do it. 877-377-6963. Clay Henry coming up at 11:30. Get in with him about the 30th anniversary of the only time it was number 1 versus number 2 in Arkansas basketball history when the Hogs went up against Grandmama's UNLV Rebels. And we talk college football with Bill King in hour number 2. Stay tuned. It's icy. Be safe out there on halftime.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A little girl asked me one time, "Pastor, does the devil have a mother?" I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second. Yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
The same is Calico County's award-winning food. Great portions that are fresh and always cooked from scratch. Something that we have changed is improved curbside service for those of you that don't want to fight the crowds. And of course, we will never change those great cinnamon rolls that everyone loves. So for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or catering, it's Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue, behind Randall Ford.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They're open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Hey, grounds guys.
Hey, what?
Can you clean up my yard?
You betcha. That's what the grounds guys are here for. Grounds guys will clean up any of that lingering winter debris like leaves and branches, prep your lawn for spring, and give your flower beds a fresh new look. The grounds guys is your one-stop shop for all your lawn care needs in Northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area. Call 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-GUYS. Or visit groundsguys.com. The Grounds Guys. Leave the yard work to us.
Kurt's Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years. customers and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Yo, VIP. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby.
Moody, out high, guarded by Stewart. Drives around it, gets to the rim, feeds Smith on the baseline, passed up the shot. He'll give it to Davis, who feeds inside to Vanover for the stub. Hogs started over, Devo attacked. Razorbacks up 32-24.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
Kept thinking of William H. Macy's character in Fargo, and I heard the guy outside from across the street scraping off his windshield this morning. This doesn't happen very often. Like, how many of you actually own an ice scraper?
So over the weekend, we had to use, in Oklahoma, it was icing over there. We had to use a dustpan that happened to be in the car.
Y'all got out of Oklahoma just in time.
Just in time. Yeah.
Well, that's what you have to do. You have to make do with other things that really are not designed for scraping ice, which includes sometimes, unfortunately, your fingernails. That's the only way to get it done. Be careful out there, folks, and somebody needs to check on Mike Neighbors.
That looked rough.
Didn't it, though? I mean, you got to appreciate it.
I can't believe he shared that, too.
Well, exactly. You know, he is as self-deprecating as any coach that you'll ever come into contact with. He puts video out, and I guess his significant other JC had seen this occur on the security system with their video camera, and he ate it. I mean, it's the best way to put it. He ate it on his right hip and actually tweets the video of it out.
I just appreciate
I wouldn't mention it unless he didn't put it on social media.
I just appreciate the fact that when he slipped and fell, he posed while he was laying there for a second just to soak it all in for a minute.
It looked like he was breakdancing.
Well, I thought what I thought he was doing is the realization that you try to stand up immediately after you slip and fall on ice. What's about to happen?
You're gonna slip again.
You're going to slip and fall on ice again. You got to plan your trip back upwards. Otherwise, when ice and gravity work together, they usually beat human beings. So, yeah.
I've had one of those slips and then didn't have anything to pull myself back up. It's tough getting back up if you're just stuck out on ice.
So JT texted in. He said he gave Neighbors a solid 4 on his slip and fall. So
is that a 4? Is that a 4 out of 10?
I assume he's going 4 out of 5. JT, let us know. But what would you get if it's out of 5? Like, is that a A+?
I'd hold up a 7.5.
7.5, yeah. Okay. Because
we need to do like this. What is it called? Synchronistic swimming.
Synchronized swimming.
Synchronized falling on ice. I think would be a very pretty thing to watch too.
The funnier falls is when you're almost slipping and then you think you've caught yourself and then you slip and fall again. The double slip.
This is happening all over the state today, man. I mean, we're kind of we have it up here. I know Central Arkansas, and gosh, we got Clay coming up in the next 12 minutes. I wonder what Norfolk is, what it's looking like up by the Norfolk River right now.
I know back home, but the parents back in Beebe, they're under an ice storm warning right now. School's been canceled or closed today. They went virtual, so I think they're going to get I think it's going to be a lot worse as far as ice in Central Arkansas and like Eastern Arkansas. But here, I mean,
this isn't the day to have like a snow day where you're going out and playing in it.
No, this
is
ain't
not
no
the
fun.
stuff to play in. No, so this is a good. I would usually feel bad for the students that don't get a bad weather day off, but no reason to be outside playing. So you might as well suck it up, kids, and learn all day. Although maybe you get a chance to listen to the show too. By the way, JT said 4 out of 10 for Mike Neighbors, so that's not really. You use the word solid for a 4 out of 10. I'm not quite sure how solid that is. Well, again, I hope Mike's okay. Like I texted asking him. That looked like a bad fall on the right hip. That could affect me for a good 2 weeks. And Mike's got a game to coach tomorrow against Mississippi State, 8 o'clock.
See, this is where, under normal circumstances, you should take advantage of this in y'all's patented dart games.
Because we haven't had a dart game in a long time.
That's what I'm saying. But if everything was normal, like this is the prime opportunity to take advantage of this while he's down.
That's right, because there is no such thing as a disabled list for darts, unless, like, something's wrong with your wrist, and the hip is not the wrist, so he'd be fine.
Right.
Speaking of injuries, by the way, Justin Smith, you could see in the second half that ankle affects him, and it affects him to where it's noticeable. He limps. I don't think he's got quite the leaping ability or blocking out ability. I mean, he didn't get a rebound in the second half. He still played almost the entire second half. And I'm not saying he should be sitting either, because it's all about pain tolerance, right? And he appears to have pretty good pain tolerance, because otherwise he'd be sitting. I mean, what did he play yesterday? 32 minutes on a bum ankle, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Overall played well, but I think he would contribute more offensively if not for the bum ankle. But it's obvious you got to have him on the court, and he's. Man, I mean, you can just imagine how much work he gets on that ankle day after day, because it's been over a month now. And you'd say, is it getting better? Is it really getting better? This might be the sort of if sprain is the right diagnosis or whatever it is. I mean, you need a couple of weeks to really heal properly. So he's also not the player right now that you can give a game off to. Like he needs to be on the court, and I appreciate watching somebody play injured, when he probably could sit if he so wanted to, if he wasn't tough about it. And I think it's pretty obvious he's pretty tough about this. On the other hand, and it's not about toughness, I think Desi's shoulder still has to be bothering him pretty badly. Because I think Desi's pain tolerance is pretty high. Seems to be a pretty tough kid. But he was only out there for 10 minutes and was mostly ineffective. So I think that affects him. And hopefully the next few days, I mean, he went from not being able to lift the arm Friday to being able to play-ish yesterday. A few days until you play Mizzou. I think Arkansas is going to need Desi Sills on Saturday against Missouri.
Probably a good thing that this game fell on a Tuesday, too. I mean, you're going to have not necessarily a quick turnaround, so you have an extra day, whether this game would be on a Wednesday and you practice Thursday, fly out on a Friday. So it's an extra day of healing, extra day of care that he can get on that ankle, and for Desi Sills getting some care on that shoulder.
And it does look like Jalen Williams is fine, that knee bruise.
Looked like he was good.
Kid played great. I mean, you can notice he's hustling, sprinting down the floor defensively in the first half, and then played most of the second half with Connor Vanover only out there for 4.5 minutes. It's interesting the way that Vanover was pretty helpful in the first half.
Played really well in the first half.
Shot with range, rebounded fairly well for his size, blocked a couple of shots, hustled, see him diving after a couple of loose balls, and then, really wasn't out there very much in the second half, except really late when you need him to hit free throws, which obviously he does. And Jalen Williams was out there for most of the second half, and Williams might have been the best player on the court for Arkansas in the second half. 9 points, drew 4 fouls, grabbed 4 rebounds, and was solid. So that was really good to see. I think Smith is going to he's not going to be healthy for the rest of the season, at least fully healthy, not 100%. And who is, but I think he's probably less than 100% than anybody else right now. Desi's injury is the sort of thing that it's pain tolerance. It'll get better, each day by day. That's what a stinger is, or at least the way Musk described it. And Jalen is fine. I think he's fine. The banged knees didn't appear to bother him at all.
I think for me, some of the biggest takeaways, Devo Davis played out of his mind on the defensive end of the floor, particularly late in that ball game, getting steals and really jumping up, because all through that first half it was back and forth, and no team really went on a big run. And then, to me, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, whoever goes on this next run, if they get a 10, 12-0 run, you pretty much got this thing wrapped up just based off the way the game was playing. And he led to several of those steals on the other end between the steal heading into Justin Smith. We'll have that audio coming up here later in the show as well. But the ending of that game, for a freshman to make that type of a play and to read the eyes of the defender, which, by the way, the inbounds play that Kentucky ran was absolute garbage.
Absolutely.
Inbounding into Olivier Sarr. But nevertheless, it worked out well in Arkansas's favor, and Devo Davis cashed in on a center trying to be a point guard.
It's funny, too, like reading Calipari's post-game comments and some of the columnists that cover Kentucky basketball for the papers around there, and they're almost treating this like a moral victory smackdown. Like, That's what it's come to for Kentucky basketball this year.
Moral victories.
Yeah, they've gone the Chad Morris route from from 3 years ago. I mean, goodness. It's like, well, at least they came back. At least they didn't completely fall apart in the last 4 minutes. At least they played hard. Wow, I could barely believe what I was reading. I mean, that's why. Gosh, could you imagine what you would be feeling today if you weren't part of Kentucky's misery? Like, this Arkansas basketball team is good enough to be part of the worst season in Kentucky basketball history. Like, if this is going to be Kentucky's worst season since the freaking Hoover administration, then you want to be part of it. Not, one of the reasons they look back and say, well, at least we did that. Nope. Gosh, that would have been what a difference 2 points make, huh? What a difference.
What a difference that technical foul, like you said in the previous segment, the difference that technical foul made. 4-point swing right there.
I don't think you can discount the technical foul at all. By the way, Mike Neighbor says he's okay. Shoulder took the brunt, but he's okay. So
Good.
It was his right shoulder, so we'll see if
his shoulder broke the fall.
Exactly. Well done. All right, we got Clay Henry coming up after the break, digging into Arkansas basketball today and yesteryear. It was today in 1991 that Barnhill Arena hosted Arkansas versus UNLV, number 1 versus number 2. Haven't seen it since. Stay with us on halftime.
New year, new budgets. Every small business has unique needs, and when you partner with a Dell Technologies advisor, you get real-time tailored advice. They'll even give you a free consultation on your servers and storage devices to develop a custom solution to help improve your company's productivity. Plus, get special financing with Dell Business Credit and big savings on business computers with Intel Core processors. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. The number one question on every guy's mind this Valentine's Day is, what's the gift that's going to wow? So 1-800-Flowers is here with a helpful hint. Go with roses. Right now, 1-800-Flowers is offering the 18-stem Enchanted Rose Medley for just $39.99. Or double it to 36 roses for $20 more. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code KJZ. Again, go to 1-800-Flowers.com and enter code KJZ. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code KJZ.
Hey, Ty Richardson for my friend Jeff Taylor at Jeff's Clubhouse. Jeff's Clubhouse is open Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 and Saturday from 9 to 12. Lunch special, take and bakes, brunch to go bands. They have it all at Jeff's Clubhouse. Give Jeff and his crew a call at 479-308-9123. That's 479-308-9123. You can stop by and see him at 2801 Old Greenwood Road in Fort Smith. Check out their menu online at theclubhousefs.com. Jeff's Clubhouse, Fort Smith's premier place for lunch, brunch, and catering.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told you.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with a click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
I'm Matt Brown, PGA professional at the Ben Guerin Golf Course and director of the Ben Guerin Youth Golf Academy. We offer affordable weekly junior golf classes throughout the year to kids ages 3 through 16, including an LPGA, USGA, girls-only golf class. If you're looking for a fun and safe environment for your child to learn the game of golf, then consider the Ben Guerin Youth Golf Academy. Classes will start in March of 2021. For more information, please call 646-2444.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Molinars, he comes into the front court, he splits the double team, gets to the right elbow, Vanover blocked his shot, took it away. Lead court, Justin Smith to the rack, he lays it in. Ben Howland's got to call a timeout. Vanover stuffed him at one end. Justin Smith finished at the other. Hogs are up 38-24.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts, including SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
All day long, dodging ice. We're just trying to, stay indoors and stay away from this stuff. Clay Henry's joining us, editor and publisher, Hogs Illustrated. Good to join us every Wednesday. Clay, what's the ice situation in your portion of the natural state?
Yeah, I think in Baxter County you've got stuff on bridges, but there's no real accumulation. It's just kind of spitting sleet and a little snow, and it's just kind of crusty in a couple of places. You can tell where I went to breakfast a little while ago, and I could tell where you've got culverts under roads, that those little stretches of roads had a little crust to them, but they've put some kind of solution. I don't know what they put on the roads in Baxter County, but we're okay for now. We'll see what happens in the next 48 hours. I think there could be some ice coming.
Okay, well, we'll be keeping our eye out. I don't know if I'm leaving the house at all today. This is a day to stay indoors.
That was it. The only time I'm going to leave the house is to go get firewood, and that's about a 15-yard walk.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch some college basketball tonight. Entertaining one last night for Muss's club. Would have not been as entertaining if there was a 2-point differential. This is a season you want to add to the Kentucky misery, not give them any reason to have any joy.
That's right. And Kentucky really played, I think, as well as they can. Their turnovers were down. I think they might have had 12. They've had a lot more in some games, and that's the most threes they've made in a game since 2012. And they made big threes down the stretch that normally when you make those shots, you win. And I give Arkansas a lot of credit, and really fun to watch those freshmen. The Jalen Williams, Devo Davis, Moses Moody look like they enjoyed playing in Rupp Arena, which is a great sign. I mean, it's there's been a lot of freshmen through the years wilted in that place, and I know it may not be like having 24,000 in there, but they're creative with the sound. It was loud. You could tell that from watching TV. But I thought that the Arkansas freshmen really held up in that environment.
Well, and I mean, so much of the conversation about Kentucky basketball is that they're usually made up of a ton of freshmen. I know they've got grad transfers that have come in this year, but I thought what stood out yesterday on a macro scale is that the three freshmen you mentioned, Clay, I thought they were they're better. They look like better basketball players than the Kentucky freshmen. Certainly yesterday they did.
They were more athletic than those guys, and that's what stands out. Kentucky has talented players, but they're not as athletic. I'm talking about especially at the guard position. They cannot go to the basket with a little wiggle. If you give them a straight line drive, of course they can go shoot a layup or dunk it. But they're not going to navigate through traffic, and you can. And they did a lot of that. You could tell their coach over the last month has really tried them to get attack the rim, and when that happens, they get a lot of charging fouls because there's just no wiggle in their move to the basket. They cannot, turn at the elbow and do things to get to the rim. If you leave them open at the 3-point line and dare them to just drive to the basket and dunk it, they will. Yeah. But a good defensive team really gives them problems, and Arkansas did last night. If they didn't jump up and make some threes down the stretch, it was going to be a 15-point game, just like their other games have been against decent teams this year. I'm talking about Kentucky.
Clay Henry joining us here on Halftime. Clay, I want to ask you, get your thoughts on a couple of the players. And first off, Connor Vanover. And I wouldn't know if I would say struggling, but just couldn't find his rhythm in the first half of the SEC season. But these past two games, Clay, Connor Vanover's played really well. And while he didn't play a lot in the second half, that first half, Connor Vanover, he was effective. He was hustling. He was everything that that us fans probably expected out of him early in the preseason.
See, I think that there have been some games where he's been in his element because of matchups, and then there's some games that he doesn't fit. And I think there's been more of those type teams of late. And I think you see Arkansas getting to the good part of their schedule. And when you go back and you look at some of the teams, they just weren't good matchups. And I think and that'll happen in some other games before it's over. I don't think it's a good matchup against Alabama for him. There's not anybody on Alabama's team that he can cover. They've got a lot of guys that can put the ball on the floor and get it to the rim. Well, he can't keep up with those type guys, but Kentucky doesn't have that. And there's been some other teams of late that he was a good matchup. So I think it's about who you play and how they want to play, how Eric Musselman wants to use him. But, yeah, I think that was a decent matchup for him last night, and he looked like he was in his element.
I think another player that's really caught my attention, we've talked a lot about him on the show, it's Phil's favorite player, and that's Devo Davis. I mean, the kid played with so much heart. And I kind of had this idea in my mind of, like, what player reminds me of, and then Jimmy Dykes mentioned it last night, comparing him to Patrick Beverly. And I think, Clay, that is a perfect comparison because Devo can score, but the difference that he can make defensively and the same difference that Patrick Beverly can make defensively, that is a strong comparison in my opinion. Do you agree with that?
That's not the guy that I compare him to, and it's you got to be a little older to get this, and you have to really go back to high school. Patrick's a better shooter than – and he had a three-point shot when he was in college. That's what he was, a three-point shooter. And Devo's not a three-point guy. Now, he has got a fantastic mid-range. I think he's got more length than Patrick. But the guy, and I've said this on the show, and nobody's really latched on to it yet, but the guy that he reminds me of is Sidney Moncrief. And I'm talking about effort, athleticism, and length, and ability to go up in a crowd and get a rebound. He plays with unbelievable desire. He's like Sidney. When Sidney first got to Arkansas, Sidney didn't want to take a long shot. Wasn't a particularly good free throw shooter. Got to be a good free throw shooter because he turned himself into it. But when you see a ball on the floor, now Patrick Beverly, by the time he got to the NBA, yeah, I see that in Devo. But that's not the way Patrick played at Arkansas. Patrick was a three-point shooter and a decent defensive player. He did not excel on defense, and he didn't go on the floor for a loose ball. He figured out that's when he was in Europe, in the Ukraine, and those places that he went to play. He figured out what it took to get to the next level, and that's the way he was when he got to the NBA. I don't see the comparison of Patrick as an Arkansas player and Devo as an Arkansas player. The guy that, I mean, to compare him to Sidney Moncrief is really, incredible to do. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's a lot of pressure. But if you watch him and you watch the way Sidney was as a freshman, there's a lot of that in how – and I saw Sidney as a high school player. And Devo, the heart and the desire and the effort and the length and the athleticism. Now, Devo might be a better ball handler as a freshman than Sidney, because Sidney wasn't a one guard in high school. He was a two. They had a one guard, and they had a 6'11" kid at Hall, and I saw that team play multiple times. So that's my comparison.
That's a pretty good comparison for anybody to have. And boy, there is something about Devo that I think there's something about the way he plays.
He's got some magic.
Yeah, it'll draw effort from teammates, draw a lot of attention from fans, and it's going to draw a lot of
love to watch him play.
Opponents are not going to like Devo very much. You know what I mean?
No question.
That's right. Hey, don't forget, be careful out there because of the COVID pandemic. Baxter Regional, for those living in Baxter County, wants to remind you to follow all state and CDC guidelines to keep you safe. They're committed to providing excellent care to every patient every time. They want you to make sure you wear a mask and maintain 6 feet of social distance. You can follow Baxter Regional Medical Center on Facebook or go to baxterregional.org/coronavirus for updates. Clay had mentioned that they've gotten a couple thousand COVID vaccine shots into arms up there at Baxter Regional Medical Center, so good work. All right, we'll come back after the break talking more with Clay Henry. Stay with us.
Bryn Higgins Trucking in Mulberry is immediately hiring for weekend and part-time local and over-the-road driving positions. Go to work for a great family-owned business transporting frozen and refrigerated goods since 1997. At Bryn Higgins Trucking, you truly are part of a family that cares about your future and your family. Contact Brent or Connie today at 479-997-2366. That's 479-997-2366. Or apply online at BrynHigginsTrucking.com for weekend and part-time local and over-the-road driving positions.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A little girl asked me one time, "Pastor, does the devil have a mother?" I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second, yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
She's so crazy about?
God save the Queen. Well, I got a Valentine's present for you.
Really? What?
A trip to Dr. Phil.
Nick and Ellie Glidewell would like to wish everyone a hot and spicy Valentine's Day. Equal housing opportunity. Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
They look to trap Molinar, gives it away to Tolu Smith at the high post, drives in the lane, knocked away, stolen by Tate. Away to Justin Smith, bounce pass ahead, Davis reverse layup, and it's good. Devontae with a reverse layup, and Ben Howland very quickly calls a timeout on the other end.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
Every SEC team to a current country music artist. Why is Arkansas Blake Shelton?
Who knows breakups like Blake Shelton at Arkansas?
Blake. Wow. Whoa. Have a smart speaker? Just say play ESPN Arkansas to listen to Halftime anywhere you go.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
So we were watching Arkansas versus Kentucky last night, and how often has Kentucky been a number 1 or number 2 team going up against the opposite? It's only happened one time in Arkansas basketball history, and today is the 30th anniversary of number 2 Arkansas hosting top-ranked UNLV at Barnhill Arena. Really one of the legendary games, albeit a loss in Arkansas history. Clay Henry was there. And can tell us all the things he remembers about. Clay, do you remember, first of all, how this game even came into being? Because this was the latter days of the Southwest Conference, and this is the middle of conference play. And yet, in the middle of February, you get UNLV, who would play anybody, to come to Barnhill, and you get Tark versus Nolan. I could just imagine what the atmosphere is like. I vaguely remember watching it as a kid on the CBS telecast, and remembering it's like, goodness. That is some atmosphere.
I can't remember. Obviously, it was a made-for-TV game, in the conference season. Both teams were thought to be very good. There was not a surprise that they were both ranked, say, might not have thought they'd be 1 versus 2, but they were going to be in that area before the season started. So, yeah, it was going to be a game that TV was really looking forward to, those kind of matchups in February. But the thing that stands out in my mind, and I knew this at the time because I was doing the recruiting coverage for the Tulsa World, and I knew that was the day that Arkansas had really worked to get some official visitors in town, some recruits. And they had Corey Beck and Dwight Stewart, and they were on their official visit. And Corey, he told me, and they were in junior college. I think it's South Plains in Texas. And Corey told me, I think it was at halftime I saw him briefly, and he says, I'm coming. He said, this is awesome. And he said that when Arkansas came out of the locker room, and I don't know whether you're supposed to do this or whatever, but they were in the locker room and, watching Nolan talk to the players, and they came out, kind of trailing behind the players as they entered the court, and, they're calling the Hogs. And Corey says, this is it. This is where I'm coming. And, Dwight and Corey were so close, and he's like, you get Corey, you got Dwight. So losing the game is, that's what everybody remembers. But that was probably a great victory for Arkansas that day because, getting Dwight Stewart and Corey Beck was critical to, eventually winning the national championship.
Yeah, I don't really know if there'd be a way to take the UNLV program from that early '90s and look at any program now as being the same thing, because UNLV were the bad boys. Gonzaga is a team that's outside the power conferences. They're not the bad boys by any sense. I mean, UNLV came from, I don't even remember what league it was. They dominated it and just they played a style of basketball that was so much fun, and that's why these two. And we got a text from a listener saying that Arkansas had played them in Vegas the year before. Really, the two styles of basketball, it was almost like watching the same style. Both the teams love to get up and down the floor. And you just look at how many times Arkansas that year scored 100 points. Different game, Clay.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you talk about being the bad boys, and Tarkanian was, I mean, he feuded with the NCAA. I mean, they tried everything they could to nail him when he was at Fresno, and it was nastiness. It's like they, thought that they were cavalier to the rules, probably were, and but once you start feuding publicly with the NCAA, and he had the way of rolling his eyes and making you, think that he was, really saying things that he wasn't as far as the NCAA conversations, and those conversations would come up in press conferences, and he didn't duck them. So, they were the bad boys, but you know what? They really had some great players. And you go talk about Stacey Augmon and their guards and Larry Johnson. I mean, they had the most skilled forwards in the game, and then the guards to boot. But you'll always remember that Nolan recalls Larry Johnson running by him as they were putting him away, that massive run, late in the first half, and it's like, get you some boys, Nolan, get you some men, I guess is what he said, that he had boys. And then, Todd Day and, Larry Johnson, taunted at each other, and Todd faked like he was going to fight him. There was no intent in hitting Larry. I mean, it was a kind of an open palm fist. I mean, it's just like a little kind of swing as he was falling back. And of course, if Larry had wanted to get a hold of Todd and kill him, he could have. I mean, he would have just, he was just a beast. It was a man. Let's just put it that way.
We had a conversation yesterday about and you can't decide whether or not a season is disappointing or not until it's over. And right now, you can't put a marker on it, but by the end of the season, we will. And you get the sense, for a program that hasn't been to the Sweet 16 since '96, getting to the Sweet 16 makes it a successful season. Maybe even just winning a game in the tournament makes it a successful season. That '91 team, Clay, was coming off of a Final Four. They only had 4 losses this season. They finished that year in the Elite Eight, lost to Duke. Was that deemed, if you remember, a successful year, a year after going to the Final Four?
Yeah, that's interesting that you do. I don't guess I'll do that, put that kind of an asterisk, a good year, a bad year, not successful, unsuccessful. I'll jump forward to the 95 team, which is the defending champs, and they got to the championship game and didn't win, and it was almost a letdown. But you can never say getting to the championship game is a disappointment. I mean, it's just almost impossible to repeat. I mean, they're just nobody does that. I mean, outside of John Wooden, I mean, you just don't repeat. But there were a lot of people that thought that was a disappointment, and I wasn't one of them. But it is hard to say what are the expectations, and then as the season goes along, they change because of injuries and things that that transpire during the season, and then you get some teams that surprise and are better, and that affects how you're judged. All at once you got a team that's hitting their stride at the NCAA tournament, and it just was a bad matchup at the wrong time. So I think you have to look at all of it, not just the very end, and be careful, in putting labels on teams as disappointment, because I think it's unfair.
Clay, let's focus on. Let's bring it back to this season. You talked earlier about this kind of getting to a really good portion of this basketball schedule. You go to Missouri Saturday, which we'll talk more about that throughout the week. But you got Florida, A&M, Alabama, LSU. It seems like all your tough matchups coming up are going to be played inside Bud Walton Arena, and pretty much your toughest road matchup for the rest of the year is at Missouri. But maybe not necessarily put like what would constitute a successful season with this 2020 class or with this 2020 schedule. But you mentioned it earlier. The schedule sets up really nicely for this team, and I mentioned it prior to you getting on here with us. This sets up really well for this team, and they're getting hot at probably the best time possible, and this team is gelling at the right time. They're getting hot at the right time, and they got a very favorable schedule, at least with the solid games at home.
Yeah, the tough part about this season is that home court advantage isn't what it was in another year. I mean, when you're talking about 3,500 to 4,000 in Bud Walton Arena and a lot of them being upper deck seats, it's not the same. It wasn't the same last night in Rupp. And there's only so much, you think, well, the opposing team, maybe it's a little more friendly. The thing that is really noticeable to me is that the officiating seems to be more even this year, and that the officials and the human factor of a home crowd is what, to me, increases the discrepancy in foul calls. And I don't see that quite as much this year. So that's not quite the advantage that you would want in playing at home. But Arkansas is playing better, and I think that they have a little confidence and a little swagger back. The thing you have to be careful of is they have to stay healthy. No question, Desi Sills it hurt me to watch him try to make those free throws when he raised his arm up, and she's like, ooh, that hurts me to watch. His shoulder's not right yet, but it should get better. They're going to rehab it twice a day, 3 times a day, or whatever. But they need to stay healthy. And, they need all of their parts to be rolling right as they go through this stretch. And it is a good stretch, and it's a chance to make some hay.
I wanted to ask about, watching Justin Smith limp around and give all this effort with this bum ankle out there for 33 minutes. And we really appreciate that kind of effort. But we've run out of time, Clay, so we've got to leave it there. Be safe.
Same to you guys.
Thanks,
Watch
Clay.
out for the ice. Watch out for that dark ice, right?
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to be Mike Neighbors slipping and then, tweeting it out for everybody. So maybe I'll just slip and keep it a secret. 877-377-6963. That's right. Better idea. Stay inside. Just listen at halftime.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more, do more. Visit your local TYM dealer to see how they can upgrade your productivity. See Bush Tractor at 7301 South Zero in Fort Smith or log on at bushtractor.com.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Are you concerned about possible COVID exposure for you or your employees? Fort Smith has a new option for PCR COVID testing that is fast and accurate. Natural State Laboratories out of Little Rock has opened a PCR COVID drive-thru location in Fort Smith at Community Bible Church. PCR testing is the most sensitive, accurate test available, and results are available the next day. No appointment is necessary. Convenient COVID PCR drive-thru testing in Fort Smith is open 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at Community Bible Church, located at 9201 Dallas Street.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, and I want to help you get a great deal on a great car. So I'm making it easy with prices up to $3,113 below retail on the best selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles we've had in months. These are late model, low mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs that have been handpicked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. You just can't buy a better pre-owned vehicle. And right now you can save with prices up to $3,113 below retail. If you're waiting on your tax refund, my TaxMax program can help with that by getting you access to your money now. Worried about your credit? Don't be. My For the People credit approval process can get you approved and driving your nicer, newer car today. If you're not in the market right now, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center, the home of half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Don't wait. Get the nicer, newer car you want today and save up to $3,113 at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Some very cold air will be sliding in as we head over the next couple of days. We're looking at a chance of rain or freezing rain at times today. Our high this afternoon, low 30s north, low 40s south. Expecting to see a chance of some freezing rain with some light ice accumulations tonight. Overnight lows in the 20s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hertz Car Sales. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Stick this one in the electrical socket, folks. The Razorbacks have shocked the world. Arkansas defeats UConn 90-87.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Kentucky by 1. Razorbacks into the front court. They're not going to call a timeout. 7 seconds. Davis drives, missed the shot. Tate's follow, no good. And we've got a whistle and a foul on Kentucky with 4.3 to go. The Hogs didn't call the timeout. Arkansas brought the ball down the floor. They draw the foul, and they're going to the free throw line with 4.3 seconds to go. 8 steps to the line. Second one's on the way. It's good. The Hogs lead it by 1. Now they've got to defend. Kentucky's going to have to go from one end to the other. They've got 4.3 to do it. Here we go. Toppin is going to be the inbounder. He'll run the baseline. Drops it in to Sarr. Sarr from midcourt. Pass stolen away by Davis to the other end. Arkansas wins the game. Davis with the steal at the horn, and the Hogs have escaped with an 81-80 win.
Second hour halftime, middle of the week SmackDown. Where are the meat hooks?
Oh, God almighty.
Right, you know. I don't know what you got planned going on Saturday or Sunday, but I got a weekend plan, my man.
I fell asleep for a second. I apologize. God almighty, I just let down our listeners.
It's like the biggest weekend of your life, practically.
I'm stressing. I'm stressing.
Valentine's weekend, my friend. Don't you have anything planned yet?
We do. We got a restaurant planned, but I've got to find the Valentine's Day gift. Which, let me ask you guys this. So
you haven't found one yet?
Well, no.
It's Wednesday, man. You've got like 3 days. If you don't have one by now, you don't have one.
Oh, I got an idea in my head. It's a homemade gift, so I think she'll like it. But anyway, my question.
I see what he's going to do here.
You know what I'm gonna do.
You're probably gonna try to do like one of these
coupon books.
Where you give like a coupon book, like here's a free back rub.
Those are for Mother's Day, not
make you mac and cheese.
There goes that idea.
She'll
listen to
or something.
She'll listen to the podcast.
One free vacuuming.
called a cop-out, not a gift.
How much?
You got to spend money.
How much do I need to ball out for because
this is the first one? This could ruin the whole thing if you do this. If you mess
But
this
hang
up.
on, her birthday is in 2 weeks after Valentine's Day, so I don't know. Like, do I just need to obviously get her something nice for Valentine's Day? But like,
you can't combine holidays.
No, I'm not combining.
Now's your opportunity to make a complete swing and a miss with awful gift for Valentine's Day. So I'll make it up to you in 2 weeks. Don't worry, just stay with me.
But my question, like, do I ball out for Valentine's Day, or I know the obvious answer. I got to ball out for both of them.
I know why he's saying this. He's already got a trip planned for her birthday.
I do.
I keep telling you, like you folks who are involved in a relationship that's brand new, leading into Valentine's Day, like you don't have to do anything. You really don't. You could make grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup and plan nothing other than that, and you're fine because you're still in the honeymoon period.
Right.
It's once the relationship is boring. It's once the two of you can't stand each other, but yet are forced to live together. That's when you really have to get creative. So don't feel the pressure that we're trying to throw onto your shoulders, SmackDown.
Oh no, and he is right because for her birthday, we're going the last weekend of February. We're taking her to Branson. Got us a hotel room at the Branson Landing, and we'll go up there. And I think all we're probably going to end up doing is just shopping around, letting her shop around, but a lot of eating. And there's probably going to be a lot of alcoholic beverages taken in that weekend as well. So maybe I don't have to get her anything for her birthday because I'm taking her on a trip, and like the whole trip is going to be paid for. Is that fair, or is that
Could be.
Is that a cop out?
All depends on how nice you are to her.
Okay.
All depends on nice. BE says flowers delivered to her by someone else. A balloon with a stuffed animal in it. Isn't that cute? We should have some violins in the background.
Look at Brandon.
JT says her favorite flowers for Valentine's. I'm going to bet you don't even know what her favorite flowers are yet.
Haven't had that conversation yet, but I will.
See what I mean? That's right. You figure that out later on after you've made her really angry.
I like Brandon and Paris texting Matt. An autographed poster of The Undertaker is not a good Valentine's Day gift.
But it would work for this Valentine's Day SmackDown because you're in the middle of honeymoon period.
Right.
So
if she gave me an autographed picture of The Undertaker.
Have you bought her flowers at all yet?
I haven't yet.
You know flowers isn't just for Valentine's Day.
I know.
For every day.
There's
in
this
fact,
there's this
don't
thing.
Don't get flowers on Valentine's Day. It is completely cliche. Do it out of the blue when it's just Wednesday for some reason.
Just because flower. See, there's this thing called money, and there's also this thing that I don't have a lot of.
You know, Aldi sells flowers and wine.
SmackDown, there are these things called flowers,
yeah,
and they grow out of the ground in dirt. And if you walk around in certain places, you might find some. You might have to look for really, nice flowers at this time of the year, especially during an ice storm. But all it takes is a little effort on your part, man. I don't know why you're so lazy about this.
No, hang on. No, see, she's going to be listening to this podcast because she's a very avid listener of the podcast now. She loves hearing it.
The East Side Liquor
Podcast.
All she's listening to is your voice. She's not listening to anything I say, nothing Maddie T says. She might not even be listening to the actual vocabulary. She's just listening to the mellifluosity of your lovely tones.
The mellifluosity.
I should just start editing a separate podcast for her that's just the times in the show when you're talking. The latest
Alan from
SmackDown
Alma's
podcast.
called us up, and I'm going to guess this has nothing to do with the basketball game yesterday. Alan, how you doing?
Fine, you guys?
Good, my friend.
No,
doing great.
It's
Just
not
ruining
about
his
the
relationship
basketball
here.
game. I'm going to give SmackDown a little advice.
Let's hear it. I'll take any advice I can get.
First of all, don't ever buy Valentine's Day flowers because they're overly priced. You can get them a lot cheaper any time of the year.
Okay.
Also, you can always use the flowers when you make her mad or something like that. You don't want to overdo the flower deal because if you make her mad, you send her the right flowers and she gets okay. So
okay, I like that. Two for two on the good advice. What else you got?
The Branson thing, I think you're onto that. If you tell her that this is your birthday present, you take her up there, then you spend money on her when you get her up there.
Yep, that's the plan.
That way you ain't got to buy a gift and all that. You just buy her what she wants when she gets up there.
Pretty much that whole trip is going to be taken care of. She's, I think we're staying at the Branson Landing, and one of her favorite restaurants is Joe's Crab Shack, so that's definitely going to be in there for dinner. But yeah, she's not paying for a dime that weekend.
That's exactly what you want to do right there. And Phil is right. The honeymoon stage, you can get away with anything right now.
How long did the honeymoon phase last for you three?
Like 3 months.
3 months, Phil?
It lasted for a couple of years because we stretched that point out to getting engaged,
Okay.
and then the marriage, and I guess I'm still in the honeymoon phase of my divorce.
We had the pandemic kick in though when we first moved in together.
Oh, that's true.
So.
I would say Phil try a couple of years. I would say.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, cool.
I quickly said 3
Give
months.
yourself some time. the whole trick here is to figuring out, like, if you're going to pose the big question, and it's not, and the question is not, what do you want for dinner tonight? The big question.
Oh, yeah.
When you're ready to pose the big question, you got to make sure that it's like near the end of the initial honeymoon phase of the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. That way, you kick a whole new honeymoon phase into gear of just the engagement. What you've got to make sure you do is you keep the glow of honeymoon phase on the relationship for as long as you possibly can. Like, you're at the point right now where you two could just sit back and watch the Daytona 500 on Sunday and be fine.
That's
You'd be perfectly fine. I don't know what Lady SmackDown thinks about NASCAR racing, but it probably doesn't matter, because if you're just sitting next to her with your arm around her shoulder, she's going to be perfectly happy. Even if you're just watching cars crashing into each other at 180 miles an hour.
Are you two comfortable with each other's silence?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No awkward silences yet?
None yet.
No dead air moments where you just...
My girlfriend told me over the weekend that whenever I propose that she wants to pick out the ring. She doesn't trust me to pick out a good ring.
That's called a woman that knows her man.
I think she's 100% accurate. I wouldn't know what I'm doing.
She's always said, like, she doesn't mind me or whoever, a future husband, whatever it is, them picking out the ring, but she's very particular. Like, I wanted to have like XYZ on that ring. So, yeah. Alan, thanks for the advice, my friend. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Alan. I had no idea, like, what the difference between like a princess cut or any of the other kind of diamond cuts, man. Without my ex-wife's help on that ring, I'd have just pulled something out of a Cracker Jack box and say, here.
We did have a conversation one night. She said, like, what would be the X amount of money that I could go with?
6 months' salary.
So it's pretty much. And I gave her... Never mind.
Spend that on flowers. Spend your 6 month salary on flowers for Sunday while you're watching the Daytona 500. See how it works out. 877-377-6963.
Oh, I'm going to hear about this here in a couple hours when she listens to that podcast.
Hey, Bill King's with us in 20 minutes. Nobody knows cooking food on our show better than Bill. I don't know. Maybe we'll ask him, what do you grill for her for a Valentine's Day?
That's a good point.
Day.
And Bill has to have some advice for me for Valentine's Day.
All right, I got a weird situation involving a team I grew up rooting for that hired their most hated opponent in history to run the franchise. Goodness gracious.
Arkansas, will you make the Final Four in them wacky uniforms with the pigs with horns? And did I hear you say you were playing a game today with the home crowd yelling, woo, pig suey? Hey, those pigs may be hogs, but they're kosher to me. Capiche?
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas wins the national championship!
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, make sure you choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. That means you're sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at Bush Tractor. They're located at 7301 South 0 Street in Fort Smith, or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless, at 479-478-6616. That's 479-478-6616 for more details. Or stop by our location at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. Or visit us online at www.shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
This winter, we must bundle up, not just for warmth, but to control the spread of COVID-19. Wear a face covering, wash your hands, maintain a safe distance from others, and avoid crowded spaces. Get your flu shot now and the COVID-19 vaccine when it's available. We can get back to a better tomorrow by doing the right things today. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
This is Mike Hatchley with Hatchley Air. Did you know we've been serving customers like you since 1958? For our 63rd birthday, Carrier gave us a free furnace. We decided to pay it forward by giving the furnace away along with a brand new high-efficiency air conditioner. For your chance to win, go to AtchleyAir.com. One lucky homeowner will win a high-efficiency system valued at nearly $9,000, and there's no cost to you. Don't wait to enter. The drawing will be held on February the 25th.
AtchleyAir.com.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
The B.F. Goodrich President's Day sale, because leaders never follow. Between February 12th and 19th, get a $70 or $50 reward card or virtual account after online submission with the purchase of 4 new select B.F. Goodrich passenger or light truck tires. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality B.F. Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart. See bfgoodrichtires.com/promotion for complete details. Offer expires February 19, 2021. Void where prohibited.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Tate in the half court for Arkansas. Jalen drives the right side, floats it up, gets it to fall, and they fouled him too. It's going to be an and one for Jalen Tate right out of the inbounds. Arkansas's got a chance to tie it.
The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Trusting the process, primetime preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Well, somebody who doesn't have a significant other right now, I know exactly what I'm celebrating on Valentine's Day SmackDown.
What's
Matty
that?
T. Baseball, boys, baseball. Pitchers and catchers report.
Heck yeah.
Around Valentine's Day. There are years where the college baseball season actually begins on V-Day, but we have to wait 5 days now, so I'm just going to celebrate. Well, let's just put it this way. The one thing that has loved me throughout my entire life is baseball. So I'm not going to buy it roses. I'm not going to send it any cards. I'm not making it anything to eat. I'm just going to enjoy it.
Just enjoy it for what it is.
Baseball's
That's
never
exactly right.
messed around with the milkman before.
Well, the best way to
point.
No, it has. It has. Baseball messes around with everybody. SmackDown, and baseball is a fickle mistress. I will guarantee you, any baseball person around would tell you that phrase is true. But you keep going back to her. You keep going back to her because she knows you better than anybody else. She says nice things when you least expect it. Gives you excitement when you need it. And a lot of disappointment along the way, too. Baseball is most definitely a fickle mistress, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
It's almost here.
Devoted to you, to borrow a phrase from Greece.
It's going to be here before we know it, Matty.
This has to be a big deal for Phil. It's been a long time.
You've been looking forward to this for the past 6 months.
I'm about as excited as anybody, but Phil, I think there's one person more excited than me.
Well, I mean, it got so. I mean,
Mr. Elson.
We barely got into the baseball season last year, and then it was just gone. Everything was gone. So, no, I know the excitement in his voice, and I know he's pumped up. And I don't know. To me, when baseball's here, you know spring is coming. Get this cold weather.
JT thinks
out
I
of
sound like James Earl Jones. I have
really
never
do.
sounded like James Earl Jones. People will come, Ray. People will most definitely come. That's my best James Earl Jones.
If you build it, They will come.
Well, no, James Earl Jones did not say if you build it, he will come.
No, that was
the was the voice. That was the whispering voice. It was not James Earl Jones. You guys get your stuff right here. All right, I don't bring up hockey ever, but it's just led me to an interesting just self-conversation here. Who is the most hated, or at least a hated Arkansas opponent in recent history that you would just look at the guy and say, I just can't stand that guy's stupid face?
Chad Morris.
Not just it can't be somebody that's involved with the team already. SmackDown. I mean somebody that played for an opponent that usually did well against you.
Okay.
That had a stupid face and antics, and you hated him. You know, I mean. The guy that stands out for me might be like Marshall Henderson. You remember that guy who played for Ole Miss basketball when they went to the Final Four and just had the big wide eyes and a lot of crazy antics and kind of engendered himself to a lot of hatred around the SEC outside of Ole Miss fans. That's the sort of player that I think. I wonder how fans feel about what was that Missouri linebacker name that basically stepped all over Arkansas. Was it Beisel was his name? Eric Beisel?
Something like that, yeah.
Maybe that guy. Because, so the team that I grew up, growing up in Pittsburgh, you're a Pirates fan, you're a Steelers fan, and a Penguins fan. And NHL is big in Pittsburgh. And the most hated player against the Penguins in my youth was Ron Hextall, who was the longtime goaltender for the Philadelphia Flyers. That was the Penguins' best rivalry, was the Flyers. Hextall was their best player and was one of the best goaltenders in the league, and he was the only guy that you could ever say was a goon as a goaltender. Like, he would get penalty minutes, not just like the goalie usually would get from delay of game, flipping the puck over the boards and everything, but he would slash guys, he would fight, he would board players into the boards. I mean, the guy was a goon as a goalie, and the entire city of Pittsburgh just literally despised this guy for good reason. The Penguins hired Ron Hextall yesterday to be their general manager. It's like, and look, he's done a great job as an executive, helping build a couple of Stanley Cup champions with the Los Angeles Kings. But it's just like, could you imagine? Let's put it this way, because this isn't a player, but I have a feeling, just based upon what happened this last season with the Auburn game and other football games involving Arkansas. Like, could you imagine Mark Curls hired to be the athletic director at Arkansas?
Nope.
Like, I think that's the way I feel, feeling that, and I haven't been a hardcore Penguins fan in years. It's tough to be an NHL fan around here, but that's how I feel with Ron Hextall being the general manager of the Pirates. It would be like, let's see, who would be the most hated Chicago Cub for you Cardinals fans? Who do you despise more than anybody else?
Sammy Sosa?
I feel like a lot of Cardinals fans even liked Sosa because of he and McGuire's relationship, or at least how they got along during that home run chase. I don't know, it's tough to put a. Well, but look at it this way: how did Red Sox fans feel when Johnny Damon moved over and took over center field with the Yankees?
That's fair.
They kind of feel that way about it. Or Leo DeRocher. You don't know who Leo DeRocher was, but he was a longtime manager in the major leagues, a player too, a guy that was a manager of the San Francisco Giants, and then he goes to become the manager of the Dodgers, like their most hated rival. I called him San Francisco. I meant New York Giants. Like, that's the way that I think these folks feel with Hextall, now the Penguins general manager. But who would you put at that level, who would ever run the Arkansas athletic department or be the head football coach at Arkansas, that would engender that sort of, they hired this guy, I hate him, I can never change my mindset about him? I feel like Marshall Henderson would be that guy at least.
That'd be up there. That would definitely be up there for, yeah.
Oh, Cody in Bentonville says Carlos Zambrano. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, he's somebody who was really emotional. I bet Cody every time you'd watch him pitch, you say, I hate that guy's stupid face. He just has a really stupid face. Diehard Cubs will hate Ryan Sandberg. Sure, that would work well. That would work very well. Gus Malzahn, according to JT. Maybe so. Maybe it's come to the point now where all Arkansas fans hate Gus's face, where they couldn't imagine him being the head coach at Arkansas.
Got real close to happening, too.
Oh, Chris Bryant said St. Louis was boring, so, yeah, sooner or later down the line, maybe he'll be the Cardinals general manager. But this just kind of threw me threw me for a loop. Another thing I wanted to get into here, and this does I think, prove my point a little about what does Arkansas have to gain? They only have something to lose by playing Arkansas State. And I've tried to make the point, like, no matter what happens in that game, Arkansas State will always be a group of 5 level athletic department and football team. One of the better in the Sun Belt, won't be anything more than that. Arkansas will always be an SEC school, and the level of talent at Arkansas will always be more than Arkansas State. You're not going to lose recruits to Arkansas State because they beat Arkansas in a football game in Little Rock. So even a former Arkansas State athlete who has taken that athletic department to different heights, Terry Mahajer, has left Arkansas State because it's a stepping stone. Arkansas State University is a stepping stone for athletics, for coaches, for administrators, and it is not where the top athletes in this state or from any other state regionally around Arkansas look to go to if they want to play in the SEC. Terry Mahajer left Arkansas State to go to UCF because Arkansas State is not at the level of Arkansas in anything. And for that matter, nor is UCF. Arkansas State is a place to launch a career from, or in the case of Butch Jones, a place to revive your career. And if done the right way, Arkansas is a place where you end your career or be fired if things don't go right. That won't ever change with these two things, with these two schools. All right, we got Eddie on hold here. Eddie in Clarksville. Eddie, we were wondering, what does SmackDown need to do for Valentine's Day if he feels any pressure? Do you still feel any pressure for Valentine's Day from Mrs. Eddie in Clarksville?
Well, what you need to do, roses is always a special moment in a lady. I've never seen a lady yet that didn't like a big vase of red roses. But to get the task at hand, gentlemen, first of all, I want to congratulate. I've been blocking at this basketball team, and I want to congratulate Coach Musselman and this basketball team. What I consider in 27 years in a basketball team that showed tenacity, that showed mental toughness. And what is Coach Musselman trying to get to the point when he used a UPS skit? You will deliver in crunch time. And what did they do last night? They exactly did that. Kate, that a way to knock them down. Hey, and the whole team, bent over. I watched him the last 2 games. He's becoming mentally tough, physical in the paint. What about Moses Moody and the defense and Devontae Davis? The whole team. You're starting to come around. And listen to this, gentlemen. Watch it stay. You got 6 games left. Let it be special. Deliver the wins. And let's get into the NCAA tournament and get back to tradition at the U of A, which you compete against the best teams in the country, and you beat them. And so you've got the potential to do it. You just got to keep attacking that basket. I just love the game they brought to Lexington. They were physical in the paint. They made their layups. They made their free throw. What were they? 18 of 20 or 18 of 21, something like that. 23. That's tenacious. And they attacked the basket. I'm so happy for this program because we are rich in tradition. And Coach Musselman had a way to get your team mentally prepared. And so now, down the stretch, I'm starting to hear the whistle blow on the basketball hog train. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it, Eddie. Appreciate that. Now, I wonder, were there any gimmicks from us yesterday? Was there any cheese under the seat? Were there any? I
don't know.
Were there any UPS stuff delivered? To be quite honest, I feel like you really don't need to be goosed very much to get up for playing at Rupp Arena. You don't need the cheese. You don't need the delivery driver. Playing at Rupp Arena against the Wildcats is enough to get you up for it, and they look like they were up for it. You know what SmackDown's up for?
What's that?
SmackDown's up for wings. Buffalo Wild Wings.
They catered my Super Bowl party with me and the lady, and it was absolutely fantastic, and I will be heading back again because Matty T right now, they got wing and fry bundles starting at $9.99 right now. You get a 10-piece boneless wing and a medium fry for $9.99. You ain't going to find a better deal. Get you some honey barbecue, mango habanero, you name it. They've got it at Buffalo Wild Wings. You can order now or order online or dine in now, and you can find locations in Fort Smith, Conway, Sherwood, Little Rock, and in Jonesboro. That is Buffalo Buffalo Wild Wings. Bill King joining us next on Halftime.
Seat is arriving early at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV wants to invite you to skip the lines and the crowds this year and shop the industry's best brands at Northwest Arkansas's premier RV dealer. And with a lifetime warranty, RV storage, and a mobile service shuttle, owning a new RV has never been easier. RV show pricing beginning now at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Here's the good news. Even with high unemployment, there's still a need for hundreds of thousands of cybersecurity professionals in the U.S. right now. And My Computer Career is training people to help meet the demand. No IT experience? No problem. Take the free career evaluation today at mycomputercareer.edu. Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a Buy Here, Pay Here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautoSalesInc.com.
Tommy Kraft here. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A little girl asked me one time, "Pastor, does the devil have a mother?" I was shocked by her deep question and thought for a second. Yes, he does. Her name is pride. The devil fell because of a rebel yell of pride. The Bible says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Pride really is the mother of all sins and will take you on a dark ride. There's nothing more devilish than being rebellious. I'm Pastor Heath. Check us out at woodlandpeople.church.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacale, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link.
Hogs try to beat him back, though, on the run out. Moody with a dunk. After the layup by Likely, the Hogs threw over the defense. Moody slammed it home to tie the game at 71 with 4:35 to go.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP, at Matt Travis, and at Matt Jenkins 44.
Going on with us here, of course, outstanding sports host, Nashville Sports Radio, king of college football talk. We're going to get into some college basketball with him for a moment here. And I mean, there are teams in college football that you have to enjoy watching wriggle. suffer through a miserable season or a tough stretch or just a loss when they're not used to it. I like watching Clemson wriggle. I like watching Notre Dame do the same thing. Alabama doesn't, wriggle very much, so you don't get to enjoy that. Bill, last night, I know all Arkansas fans, although we were nervous about it because of the way the game almost ended, this is a season you want to be part of Kentucky's misery, not any reason to give them any joy. And I wonder, as somebody that lives closer to the Kentucky fan base, and they invade Nashville for the SEC tournament all the time. I know you don't go into Nashville too often, but do you get some joy out of watching Kentucky suffer as much as they have with the world's smallest violin playing for the BBN fans?
This is the worst. And I didn't watch the game. Kentucky's so relevant, I forgot the game was on, so I didn't even watch it, guys. But they are as bad as any team I've seen them have since probably the end of the Billy Clyde Gillespie era, because, as we know, that crashed and burned. Then you had the later stages of former Arkansas coach and then Kentucky coach Eddie Sutton's last year crash and burn at Kentucky. And those teams, particularly the Eddie Sutton team, had All-Americans all over the place on that team before they all decided to transfer out of there. But yeah, I don't know that I've seen a team like Kentucky by their standards not really do anything. I guess they defend pretty well and they're long when he can get them to try, but offensively they're bankrupt.
Yeah, and without them hitting 14 threes, which I think is the most they'd hit in 8 or 9 years, they would have been totally blown out yesterday. And I mentioned the idea of this tournament, the SEC tournament, which of course is the Kentucky Invitational in Nashville, and it's just totally take over all of downtown. I wonder though, is there even a need for a conference tournament when you think about the NCAA says you got to have 7 days straight of negative tests to be allowed into the NCAA tournament bubble, which is obviously the reason why the Big Ten made the move yesterday by moving their tournament to Indianapolis. So with that thought, why would we even have an SEC tournament right now?
So Kentucky can maybe play well and get in? I don't really...
Good answer.
Really, you've seen Vanderbilt. There's no use there either. Look, the tournament, regardless of a pandemic, a lot of coaches don't like it anyways. Mm-hmm. And that would be the coaches who are knowing they're getting in anyways. But Calipari's never been they went in a lot, Kentucky, but he's never been a big fan. Krzyzewski's not a big fan of the conference tournament. But yeah, they're not gonna look. It's an event. There's money to be made off of it, even though I'm sure we'll have the crowd limits and all that. And I don't think they'll ever do away with it.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about the SEC baseball tournament, which really, the coaches are do we have to play this? Do we have to play this? And of course, moneymaker, television inventory. I think you can draw a parallel between the basketball and baseball tournaments in this league.
Yeah, and I've been to a lot. Like I told you guys, to me, I happen to be at the peak of the SEC basketball tournament, which was 94, 95, right in there with Arkansas and Kentucky. Actually, Lexington, which would have been, 92, and then the Georgia Dome, right in there when Arkansas and Kentucky had some epic games. There's never been anything like that in this league since then, and that was, 25 years ago? Nothing that's happened. Now, Kentucky obviously has dominated and won more championships, but my point is, I'm talking about from a tournament point of view, SEC tournament. That was the peak, and I can tell Arkansas fans who aren't old enough that in 1994-95, right in there, Arkansas brought as many people to Atlanta as Kentucky did, which is unheard of.
Yeah, and they would call the Southwest Conference tournament the Razorback Invitational in Dallas pretty much. So
amazing.
It does feel like a long time ago because it is. Hey, I wondered what you thought about, so there's been so much conversation throughout the last few years about the dominance of Alabama football under Nick Saban and the dominance of the Patriots under Bill Belichick. And obviously now, Tom Brady has kind of separated himself from Belichick with this Super Bowl title under the Bucs. Is there anybody that you could say is responsible for the run of Alabama championships outside of Nick Saban? I mean, nobody has the impact that he has, but is there one or two people that are sort of tied to him in a bit of the sense of like Brady is tied to Belichick or vice versa?
Well, obviously it can't be a player because they come and go. There've been lots of outstanding players. Coaches on that staff come and go a lot too, usually because they get a offer that's an upgrade because of what they've accomplished at Alabama. You know what? I may surprise you. Maybe Miss Terry, the wife. I mean, I'm told she wears the britches in that family, and I think she keeps a very level-headed atmosphere because she's got a husband who's gone 20 hours a day probably when he's not traveling. He's there at about 6 and he gets home about 11, and keeps everything nice and steady, nice and calm. And she probably, if you asked him that question, I bet you that's what he would say, the wife.
That is a good point, Bill. And really, SmackDown, like, that's a guy right there, Nick Saban. If he ever feels any pressure about anything, it's to make sure Miss Terry's happy on Valentine's Day, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
right.
he owns a Mercedes dealership, so I don't think presents aren't a problem for him, I don't think.
Before I do have a couple things I want to ask you about Valentine's Day for me and my significant other at the moment, but I want to get your thoughts too on this. Terry Bowden, he's taken over at ULM. ULM struggled a lot this year, but for Terry Bowden, he's had an incredible, diverse career with Samford, Auburn, North Alabama, Akron. He's bringing Rich Rod with him. How do you see Terry Bowden, who we hadn't really heard a lot of him here recently, how do you see him faring with ULM and try to resurrect that school? And I don't know, maybe if it goes well, maybe like a lower-tier Power 5 job for Terry Bowden eventually?
I'm a big fan of, Bobby Bowden and the Bowden family, Tommy, Terry, all of them. I've never been a big Terry guy. I mixed emotions on how well – and I like Rich Rodriguez. I've known Rich a long time too. Terry Bowden, when he was out of coaching back in the Sirius XM days, he would come on the show once a week. And I didn't even arrange it. Somebody in New York arranged it. And he was terrible. And not only that, but when Rich Rod – now think about this. His dad used to be the West Virginia coach before he left for Florida State in the 70s. When the West Virginia job came open, Rich Rod left for Michigan. Terry had his agent call me to help him. Now, again, they lived there. I mean, he coached there. His dad was there and everything else. I found that very odd. Anyways, I'm not a big fan of his as a winning football coach compared to his dad. So I probably think it won't end well.
Now, Bill, here's the question I've been looking forward to asking you because you give great answers and you give great advice. So I need your advice now.
Okay.
Valentine,
you can hear the fear in his voice. There,
I know he can. So these two, Matty T and Phil, they've been giving me a lot of advice about Valentine's Day and maybe putting some pressure on me because I've got a new significant other that's me and her have been together. We've been probably close to a month now. Should I feel any Valentine's Day pressure coming up this weekend?
I would think so.
Oh,
because
thank
you got to
Bill.
remember, you can only lose with the wrong decision here. So,
oh, God.
yeah. I mean, you're set up for failure here. So I would meet with your confidants and make sure you get this one right. You don't want to blow. Now, is this something you want to continue?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. No. There's nothing more important here. Not talking about some ball game or. No. Make sure you get this right. Do you know her friends? Maybe find out from her friends.
So, so one of the questions I asked them was like, her birthday comes 2 weeks after Valentine's Day, and I've already got a trip planned for her birthday. And I guess, I don't know, do I need to, ball out for Valentine's Day and ball out for both for her birthday or, like baby step into Valentine's Day and just go crazy for her birthday weekend?
If you want this to work, which you just said you do, you've got to overdo it both times.
Okay, fair enough. I can handle that.
Yeah, because if you take a loss somewhere in there, it could be trouble.
I can handle that. Before I throw it back over to Phil, what's the best Valentine's Day gift you've given to your significant other?
Probably a big. I had a sponsor in Brentwood, a big jewelry sponsor, and I went in there and just said, "Get me the nicest watch you got," and he picked something out for about. I don't remember, $10,000. That was like 20 years ago. So, yeah, that was probably it.
Sounds like the answer is get yourself a jewelry sponsor, SmackDown.
I need to get a jewelry sponsor.
And by the way, I didn't get any cut, even though he was a sponsor either. Full price.
Yeah, those diamonds don't make themselves.
No, they don't.
Bill, appreciate you, man. Thanks for
Bill.
your advice, as always.
All right, thanks.
I don't know if I can do a $10,000 watch.
Yeah, I will say this, and from my father's experience, if you got to have the right amount of money to do it, but if you're not quite sure what to get the significant other,
ask.
Diamonds always work, man.
Diamonds work every time.
Diamonds are
always
forever.
work. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, even if she doesn't realize it. I found that to be true.
It's when they open that box and then it's just like all sparkling at their face.
What if she says, "Wait, are these blood diamonds?"
You don't do diamonds in the second month of a relationship. That's good advice, too.
Okay.
That's something I could have brought out for Change My Mind, which is next, but nobody needs, to have their mind changed about that.
Got some good ones for you today.
Stay with us. Wrapping up, cherry on the top, Change My Mind on halftime.
Attention high school seniors, are you involved in welding classes? If so, United Welding Institute in Pottsville has an incredible opportunity for you. High school seniors that are interested in competing will have the chance to win a $10,000 welding scholarship and welding supplies. There will also be cash prizes for those that finish in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Positions are extremely limited to enter the competition, so to get more info and to sign up, contact United Welding Institute at 479-968-3390 or by logging onto their website, UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
Getting your ride ready for warmer weather? Come see the guys at Advanced Mechanical Performance. Whether it's a lift kit, service specials, accessories, or a complete makeover of your machine, Cody and the gang can get you hooked up and running for the upcoming season. Advanced Mechanical Performance works on all trucks, Jeeps, or UTVs, from diesel engine performance and repair to custom off-road fabrication. See the gang at 3201 Wheeler Avenue today. Advanced Mechanical Performance is what you should be striving for.
In the mood for a top shelf night, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of their delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Garrison in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with the click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Note out front with 15 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Moody. JD launches a three, and he got it. Note with his third three-pointer. He's got 14 on the afternoon, and the Razorbacks have gone up 62-57.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
All right, going to wrap the show up here as we take you through the middle of the week. And, hey, tomorrow, going to get into women's basketball. Arkansas plays Mississippi State. We'll have Bob Holt, efforting a couple of other guests, and should be a lot of fun. All right, so, as usual, on a Wednesday, wrap it up with Change My Mind.
Did she just change my mind?
Now, I don't care what you say.
Nothing can make me change my mind.
I won't change my mind about you.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Oh, that is just so disrespectful for you to say something like that. Say it with your chest. Change my mind.
And Change My Mind today is brought to you by Joe's Grill and Cantina. With today, it is Wednesday. It is half-price Absent Taps Day at Joe's Grill and Cantina after 5 o'clock p.m. Matty T's favorite on when it's half-price Absent Taps Day, it is the famous brisket nachos over there at Joe's Grill and Cantina. You need to get over and take advantage of it today. It is incredible discounts happening at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great place for you to watch the game coming up this Saturday, too, when you have the sipping breakfast menu over there on Saturday. But get over there today. It is half-price Absent Taps after 5 o'clock p.m. Take the family over there for dinner and take advantage of that. They're at 3400 South 74th Street in Fort Smith across from Harps. And you can give them a call at 479-478-9600. That is Joe's Grill and Cantina.
And I'm only going to correct one thing you said there. It's all day long, not after 5
it's
o'clock.
It's all day. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. All day long.
All day.
My bad. All day half-price Absent Taps.
So get over there now.
They get over there right now. Finish the show first.
And then
go over there. Yeah, my bad.
All right, well, this is all you, SmackDown, because I'm only reacting to you here.
All right, I got two Change My Minds for you today. One of them I know we're all going to have an influence on. One of them I just don't like it at all. The Wizard of Oz apparently is a remake of The Wizard of Oz, is in the works by the hit Watchmen director. To me, this isn't a good idea because and I'm only basing this solely off of how the Lion King remake went. It was fine, but it didn't beat the original. So, to me, don't mess up the original. That's just me. Change my mind.
Now, when they say remake, it's a remake of the version of the book. They're not remaking the actual movie.
It's not a remaster.
This isn't a musical.
Right. Yeah.
Because what this is leading itself is to a new interpretation of the story, which I think is fine. This is going to be I'm excited about this because, look, you haven't had a real remake of The Wizard of Oz.
We've had
sequels since it came out.
Like when I was a kid, there was that, was it Return to Oz? It was kind of a creepy movie. Remember that film?
None of those actually were able to use
like
some
sequels.
of the same pieces of the story.
Right.
And The Wiz is not a remake. The Wiz is another idea off of the original story. Yeah, I agree. So I'm all for this because
so you'd be cool with it. Okay.
I'm totally cool with it because look, they remake movies 15 years after they're made now, man. I mean, how many different remakes have we had?
As far as remakes, remember the Denzel Washington movie, The Equalizer?
Yes.
They just had, it's like that was a remake of a TV show. They just had those movies. They've already remade it again with like Queen Latifah as another TV show.
I don't know, to me,
we're about to have a remake of Fletch.
Yeah.
Fletch came out in '84.
I don't know, to me, like, don't mess. I mean, if they want to remake it, fine. I'm sure like the graphics and everything will be incredible, especially if they remake it with the tornado scene and everything about it. But I don't know.
I'm with Phil just because I think it's a new version of the story. It's not going to take away from the Judy Garland version,
Right.
which that wasn't. That wasn't the original. That there are older versions of the Wizard of Oz in film form that are in black and white.
The 1939 version, which is the one that we all know, is sort of where like the country was introduced to Technicolor. Like remember that movie was not half black and white, half color, but the Kansas scenes are filmed in black and white, and the color then, I mean, that was a huge technological jump. That's one of the reasons that it was such a cult favorite movie and continues to be to this day. I'm all for it because with the sort of effects that you can do now, I'd be interested in the rethinking of this story.
But
plus,
you got a personal connection to this movie.
Well,
though.
plus, I mean, I love The Wizard of Oz, not just because I grew up with the movie, but I played the Cowardly Lion in 8th grade in our school play.
Can you grace us with a little bit of Cowardly Lion real quick?
Well, I mean, what songs were there? There's if I were king of the forest, not queen, not prince.
Whoa!
not
Wow! Whoa!
My regal robes on the forest.
Wow!
Oh my God!
God!
That's right. I did that in 8th grade. I love the play.
That was
I guess
beautiful.
the play's a little different than the movie, but I'm all for it. In this day and age in which everything is remade like 20 years after it's made, it's been 90 years. It's been 90 years since the original Wizard of Oz came out. Let's do it. I'm for it.
All right.
And while we're at it, give it an R rating and slap a few F-bombs on it, and let's have some fun.
Let's just do it right. You might have changed your mind. All right, this is the one I've been excited for us three to talk about because we love music on the show. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced their 2021 class nominees. And you can vote for 5, so I'll rattle through these names real quick and let us know. You can text us in real quick, 877-377-6963. Should these guys be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Carole King.
Oh, who rocks harder than her?
Carole King. So,
I mean, that's folk rock. I'm going to vote for 5, so I'm not going to give Carole King my vote.
All right.
This isn't Carole King, but this is somebody on the list.
Shaka Khan.
I mean, when I think hard rock, I think Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan's cool. Shaka Khan's cool.
I like the 2 songs of hers that I know.
Right.
I'm not going to give her my vote right
How
now.
about Devo?
I'll vote for
Devo is rocking.
Devo's rocking.
Whip it
Devo
good.
hat.
Dionne Warwick.
Well, Dionne Warwick is a great
She's not the
Motown
psychic
star,
hotline lady,
and
is
was
she?
the psychic hotline lady, and also was the host of Solid Gold for a long time. She probably belongs in there, but she gets my vote. Yes.
What famous family is she from? Is she from a famous family?
I don't know, the famous Warwick family?
I don't know.
Fela Kuti. I'm probably mispronouncing
Say
that.
what?
No idea who that is.
Okay, pass Foo Fighters.
Sounds like a kind
Yes,
of
I love the Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters is a
They
great
are
choice.
officially a rock band.
What about Iron Maiden?
Yes, they're a rock band. But I mean,
really don't know how
personally,
Iron
I'm not a
Maiden
fan
isn't
of
even
it.
in.
What about the rock and roll sound of Jay-Z?
I mean, like Jay-Z does my walk-up music, but I'm not
That's a good
putting him
point.
in yet.
Kate Bush.
Who?
No.
Kate Bush? Nobody?
No,
Okay.
not familiar.
LL Cool J. And not the LL Cool J
Well,
from the
if
Crime
you don't put him in, his mama's going to tell
Yeah,
you,
knock
tell
you
him
out.
Mama
out.
gonna knock you out. Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. belongs in. She gets
Absolutely.
my vote.
New York Dolls. Never heard of
I don't know
them.
who that is.
Okay. Rage Against the Machine. Love Rage Against the Machine.
They're pretty rocking.
They really are. The Go-Go's.
Yes. Belinda Carlisle. Put her in.
The fact that this woman's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet is a true dishonesty. Tina Turner. My
Tina
God.
Turner should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. There ain't no
She should have been the initial induction.
And
Wow.
Todd Rundgren.
The Bang the Drum
Rundgren
guy.
belongs in.
Bang
But
on
I
the
mean,
drum
how
guy.
many can you even vote for? That's part of the
You get
problem.
5.
This is too difficult.
Give me Tina Turner, Mary J. Blige, Foo Fighters, LL Cool J, and Dionne Warwick for me.
I'm going to take Tina, the Go-Go's, Rundgren, Devo, Mary J.
Matty T.
Foo Fighters, Tina Turner, Devo, LL Cool J, and Todd Rundgren.
I would love to interview LL Cool J.
By the way, I think it's time to change the name of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when non-rock and roll musicians dominate the list. So you're going to have to figure out a new name for it. Change my mind.
Fair enough. That's good enough
That
for
works.
me.
That works. All right, tomorrow, previewing Arkansas, Mississippi State women's basketball. We'll look into the Razorbacks game against Missouri on Saturday. Some baseball stuff, halftime homework. Should be fun. Or not. I don't know. We'll be here. For SmackDown and Matty T, this is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.